that weird period of time in Baltimore where you were a big time alcoholic and you were.
I mean, I was a big time alcoholic, for years.
Yeah, well, but I knew you then when you were.
Yeah,
there's plenty of.
Oh,
this is a nice little mid podcast check in.
It is a good mid podcast check in. This apartment is so nice. I'm like, just so relaxed.
Incredible.
We usually do it in your shitty office, where I'm thinking about getting all that free cereal. Right. That woman so badly wanted to kick me out last week.
Yeah.
Excuse me, who are you here with? She asked me that like 3 times.
They barely want me there.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. He has this fucking dumb job at this office in Midtown. So you can tell him. I guess.
Yeah, I work for this company. They're trying to do a comedy. They're trying to launch a comedy site, but the rest of it is all clickbait. Like they all do, just the worst parts of the internet. They're just ripping off anything that's successful. They just do their own version, and it makes the sad part is that's what makes the most money. It's not original content. It's just taking other ideas and retreading them. But most of the people there are just like, it's coders, it's advertising people, it's like professional people, and it's like
the company is like what are their main thing is like programmatic ad sales or something. It's an advertising company, and then I think what their main thing is they find like media outlets or websites, and then they tailor like ad content for those sites. But then to make more money, they said, well, why don't we have our own proprietary sites, right? And then put the ads on there, and then one of them is like an Onion or like
and then they're turning into comedy. But whatever. That what matters is that most of the people there are real people with real fucking jobs and shit. And then we come in every once in a while with dog T-shirts, and Mullen's wearing a Mountain Dew sleeveless tee, and they're just trying to kick us out. We do the podcast there, and it's like clearly we don't belong there. Clearly this is we're the people that are just working for the comedy site and doing a cum podcast in one of their conference rooms.
But I'm surprised with the internet and stuff. There's so many people that work on it that don't wear a suit and a tie. Like I'm surprised they're not used to that dynamic of, somebody who's different or odd coming in. I mean, it's not that uncommon with the fucking web.
Well, it's mostly because like I'm screaming in the kitchen or whatever. Yeah, she got mad at me because Adam said that Adam told this story about he's like the other guy we do this podcast with. Adam was like watching. Because now his friends listen. I can't tell this. Well, whatever. He said he overheard like some girl. He's watching like Game of Thrones with some girl, and the episode ends, and the girl was like, "It's just so cool that we like all get to be a part of this like cultural event together." It's like a cultural movement. She was referring to Game of Thrones as like a cultural movement. And then, we were like making fun of her in the kitchen or whatever. And I was like, how like Dr. Martin Luther King wrote Game of Thrones. And the receptionist was like, she's like a black lady. And I saw her like fucking snap and look at me as soon as I said Dr. Martin Luther King.
You're just taking free cereal. It's 6 p.m. You're loading up on their breakfast cereal that they have there and eating and drinking coffee.
That Special K they have there. And she asked me like 3 times. She's like, who are you here with? Does he know you're here? And almost kicked me out. I want to ask you this about, because about like, I guess, prostitutes and stuff. Because somebody told me, do you know what FinDom is?
Financial domination.
Yeah. Somebody told me yesterday that's not real.
It's real.
Like a grizzled vet. Of course, I know.
But that there's no real market for it. But people do that for real?
There are, of course, there's guys. I used to date a dominatrix. There are guys that love that. They absolutely is real. I'm not saying it's a big fetish, but there's a lot of guys that love opening their wallet. It's probably more wishful thinking on the part of the dominatrixes too.
Yeah.
But there are guys that love that type of humiliation. I don't get it. At all. I don't do it. I think it's stupid.
Right. Yeah.
I'm tactile. I need a fucking ass on my face. I got to smell it.
That's how most people are.
Yeah.
Well, that's coming.
That's what I don't get about when a dominatrix. It's like they just like treat you bad, and then look, do whatever you want at first. Treat me like shit, whatever. But at some point, I want to come.
Sure. Yeah, right.
That's where.
Well, at the end of the day, with the FinDom shit, you're still beating off, and if you're beating off, then it's like a fantasy, and then it's like, why don't you just fantasize about someone taking your money?
It's not enough anymore.
You keep the money.
No, it's progression. It's not enough. How come you don't just drink 1 beer? Well, because 8 is what I need now. That's how it is with this shit. It doesn't feel good anymore. Got to keep upping the ante a little bit. Got to do this. FinDom does nothing for me. I don't get it. I mean, I get it, but it's stupid to me.
Yeah, no, because there's this girl that hates Kurt, that went after Kurt, who just like a nut job internet person, and she does FinDom now, I guess, because she couldn't get a job writing. But, someone was telling me that there's no way that she actually has a job doing that, because no one will
Wait, she does financial domination?
But online, where she just like texts you like, fuck you, pig. And then apparently men give her money for that.
What?
Yeah, it's a weird thing with, there are guys that like to be, like if you would have told me at one point in my life that I would ever get turned on by a woman putting her feet in my face while I jerked off, I would have thought you were nutty. But
oh, so you grew into feet?
Yeah. I never liked it. When I did my ex-girlfriend who was dominatrix, she had beautiful size 8 feet. Never cared about them. Never. It was something that happened after.
A recent development.
Yeah, it was one of those things where you just get bored and you move on. So financial domination is probably one of those things where guys who love just having hookers say, open your wallet.
Yeah.
Or dominatrix, you say, open your fucking wallet, worthless.
Yeah.
Lick my feet, worthless. Just a way of feeling worthless and used and shitty. Probably guys like judges and fucking hedge fund guys.
Right.
And guys that get whatever they want.
That's weird. And now I have to worry about that I might turn into one of those guys. My dad, at age like 60, got into trains. And it was so fucking embarrassing.
Hope you didn't want to be the middle. two darker studs.
Well, no, really. Like, it was like his like 63rd birthday, and he's like, "Yeah, my wife took me up to some bullshit town in Pennsylvania to go see a train." And then he's like got videos of the train on his like phone. He's
I
trying
swear to
me.
God, I thought you meant threesomes.
Yeah, no.
I swear to God, I thought you meant threesomes.
Why would I be ashamed of
It's
that?
more embarrassing to be into
Lionel
locomotive.
trains.
Yeah, no, he became like a railroad fan at age 63 after like I had spent 15 years making fun of those people on the internet.
Your dad turned autistic at 63.
And those are just in your genes.
He just likes to look at trains.
He just likes trains. Yeah, he enjoys looking at trains. He used to. Oh man, one time he used to wake up. So his wife doesn't let him do anything. He's not allowed to have like friends. One time he used to like wake up at like 3:45, 4 o'clock in the morning, and like go out into like where his like laptop is by the kitchen area in the apartment, and like quietly look at model cars on eBay. Like slot cars and stuff that he wasn't allowed to buy. His wife wouldn't let him have anything, but he would just look at these collectibles that he would have if he could. But he had to sneak out into the computer area to do that.
Why?
I don't know, because his life's shit.
You don't like her?
No, she's great, actually. She was a nightmare when I was a teenager, but like now that I'm an adult and she doesn't have any control over me, she's a lot of fun.
Right, okay.
Yeah. She's like, we went to my grandmother's funeral like 2 months ago, and she's like, well, I gotta stop to get, and she gets those little like, those tiny liquor bottles so she can get drunk
Flu
at
shots.
the funeral. Yeah. She's yelling like, fuck you to everybody, and everyone's like horrified.
Oh, wow.
It's just funny. I think it's... She's
Once
like
you're out of it, it's fun to watch from a distance.
It's not my funeral. I don't give a shit, Let her ruin it.
Is your dad embarrassed by her? Is he like one of those codependents who's like, oh, she's just grieving, or is he...
It's not. It was his mom. Yeah, it wasn't... He was the one that was grieving. She was just drinking.
So she was just being an asshole?
I guess, yeah, a little bit. I don't know how I mean, they're not... Well, I mean, maybe they're happy. Who fucking knows? They've been together forever now.
Right.
But
At a certain point, it's like, what are you going to do?
Right.
When you're like, 60, whatever.
Yeah.
What are you going to start a new life?
Yeah, it's hard when
yeah.
you're older. I feel bad for older women. I think older guys have a shot. We can always go out and find somebody. But
Right.
if you're like in your fucking late 50s, early 60s with 2 kids,
you don't have a shot if you're like 63 years old and you just like trains.
Yeah, that does knock down the
having
odds.
money. You're just a guy who likes trains.
Yeah. You're knocking a lot of pussy off the auction block when you fucking come with that.
Yeah, the only woman he can fuck are the women that are tied up on the tracks. From rescue.
Oh man.
So usually we take a break right around now.
You break on your podcast?
Yeah.
Why do you break?
Just because it like offers people like a split. If you do like a 30-minute chunk, people listen to 30 minutes. If they're like, I don't know, I read it.
Where are we at time wise?
About 30 minutes.
Oh, okay, we'll take a quick break.
Yeah.
Sounds good.
Take a quick break.
Do you do any ads?
No, we do like a Patreon where people can just like donate.
Okay.
It's like a monthly donation.
Do they donate?
thing. Yeah, no, we're getting like, I don't know, $90, $100.
That's nice.
Yeah. My friend started a podcast like 2 months ago, and that's where I got the idea for the Patreon thing. And I checked yesterday to see how much money they're making off donations to their podcast. And do you want to guess?
Is it a good podcast?
Yeah, it's a good podcast.
$1,000 a month?
No. It's just shy of like $8,000 a month.
Wow.
For like a podcast off like donations. That's good. That's insane. Well,
if we were smart, because they're
they're smart guys.
services
Yeah,
to
they do
people.
like they know about fucking Syria,
journalism
and
shit like that.
Yeah, we're not like we don't really know stuff.
Yeah, we barely can keep a conversation going.
Right, perfect. So we'll take a break. Sure. And then so here's the thing. Either we'll decide, like, if we're having a good time, we'll like continue, or like we'll just get Adam for the second half.
Oh, a teaser.
So take a break, and we'll be back.